I made 5 simple requirements during blind dates, and apparently I scared off 25 men. The matchmaker even told me she's done introducing me to anyone. Honestly, I don't see what the big deal is. From my perspective, my standards are perfectly reasonable. Nothing outrageous. So why all this resistance? I'm 35 and still unmarried, which is driving my mother absolutely crazy. Every time she runs into relatives, she's like, "Don't you know any decent guy around her age to introduce her to?" Other people's kids are already in high school, and I haven't even walked down the aisle. But let's be real, I'm not settling for just anyone. And I have my reasons. Most men out there simply aren't on my level. Let's stop pretending otherwise. Let me walk you through the infamous 5 conditions that apparently sent the guys running. You tell me if I'm being unreasonable. First, I asked for a bride price of 500,000 yuan. And no, that's not greed. That's gratitude toward my parents for raising me and a sign of respect from the man. Financial security matters. The more he's willing to offer, the more he values me. A friend of mine only got 80,000 as a bride price, ended up with 2 kids and was treated terribly. Her husband didn't care for her at all, they eventually divorced. So yes, for me it's 500,000 or nothing. Second, I'm not planning to have children. Unless, of course, my husband treats me exceptionally well after marriage, then I might consider it. But even then, I'd only be responsible for giving birth, not raising the child. I'm not letting motherhood ruin my career. Third, his parents must be retired. I come from the countryside. My parents are farmers with no pension. If his parents are the same, that means supporting 4 elderly people in the future, and I'm not taking on that kind of burden alone. Fourth, he must earn at least 18,000 yuan a month. We all know how expensive life is nowadays. Sometimes veggies cost more than meat. Sure, I'll also work, but his entire salary needs to be handed over to me. A man with extra cash in his pocket is just asking for trouble. Fifth, he needs to own a car and a house. Without a car, how are we going anywhere? And obviously, we need a place to live. Also, my name must be on the property deed. That's the only way I'll feel secure. I'm not stupid. Now tell me, is that really asking too much? Honestly, if I were a man and met a woman like me, attractive, mature, clear-headed, and with well-defined standards, I'd marry her in a heartbeat. Those 25 guys who ran away just proved they weren't ready for a real woman. And even if it had been 100 men, I'd still say the problem is with them, not me. Marriage isn't charity, and it's definitely not some emotional roulette. I know what I want, and I'm not lowering my standards just to say I'm married. So tell me, do you really think my 5 requirements are too much? Or is the dating pool just embarrassingly weak?
I only have 7 requirements for blind dates, and yet now, no matchmaker wants to introduce me to anyone. They say average guys aren't good enough for me and that my standards are too high. Ugh, come on, do you really think I'm asking for too much? I'm 20 years old. My grandma told me that back in my hometown, all the matchmakers have stopped introducing me to guys. I was honestly shocked. According to them, I'm just being too picky. They say normal guys just don't match up to me. So far this year, I've been on 21 blind dates. And guess what? All 21 of them gave up. So let me ask you, is the problem me, or is it them? Let me tell you exactly what I'm looking for, and you decide for yourself. First, the bride price must be at least 600,000 yuan. Why? Because women invest a lot in marriage. And of course, we need financial support to feel secure, isn't that reasonable? Second, the guy needs to earn at least 20,000 yuan per month. Why? Because he has to be financially capable of supporting our future household. That's basic. Third, even if we have kids after marriage, the children are not allowed to live with us. Why? Because I don't want anything, not even kids, interfering with our relationship. I just want the 2 of us to live a sweet, romantic life together, undisturbed. Fourth, after we get married, my parents must live with us. They raised me with so much effort. A good man should have a sense of responsibility and filial piety. If he can't even respect his in-laws, how could he ever take care of me? Fifth, his income needs to be shared. At least 10,000 yuan per month must be handed over to me, part of it as my personal allowance, and the rest to help cover household expenses. Sixth, he must be at least 1.78 meters tall, under 30 years old, with proper facial features and a good personality. Yes, looks and character both matter. Seventh, and most important, he must own a car and a house in our city. The house must have at least 4 bedrooms and 2 living rooms. And the property title? It must be in my name, not his. To me, that's the bare minimum for a sense of security. So yeah, those are my 7 requirements. Now tell me, am I really asking for too much? Personally, I don't think so. I'm just being clear about what I want. But now, not a single matchmaker wants to introduce me to anyone. They say no average man can meet my standards. They say I'm too demanding. So what do you think? Head to the comments and give me some advice. What would you do if you were in my shoes?
你都30多了，
You're already in your 30s. In 2 more years, you'll hit menopause. So I'm supposed to pay a bride price just to bring you home and take care of you in your old age? The sky has fallen, people. Seriously, it's like the world's falling apart. The things people are saying, just pure cruelty. Just a couple of days ago, I posted a video saying I didn't want to get married. At the end, I mentioned that I still wanted a bride price. That was enough for a bunch of men to start attacking me personally. They said I'm over 30 and almost menopausal. Like, do you think I want to be over 30? I just lived to this age. What was I supposed to do? They used to say, nothing is more poisonous than a woman's heart. But now? I think nothing is more vicious than a man's mouth. Last night, I was so upset that I couldn't sleep until 4 or 5 in the morning. And today? Today I just feel weak. Honestly, I feel like I'm nothing. Like I'm worthless. I was so messed up I walked to the pharmacy near my house. Bought a tube of Mawing Long ointment. I was going to put it on my finger and try to come up with something even more savage to say back. But I couldn't. I couldn't even fight back properly. They say I'm almost menopausal now. Okay. Fine. But can Douyin at least start recommending me more content by women? Please. Just send me more female creators. I don't care if I have to pay, I'll pay. Just give me more women. Help me. Save me. Honestly. It feels like the world is falling apart. And one more thing. Back when I was in my 20s, dating guys, I'd tell them I had my period and my stomach hurt. And they'd say, come on, all women get their period. Stop being dramatic. Now I'm in my 30s, finally almost done with all that. And now you're complaining that we're going through menopause? Can someone please tell me, what did periods ever do to you? I swear, someone save me.
我今年33岁，大龄未婚。
I'm 33 years old, single, and considered a leftover woman by society. A lot of people keep asking, why do older single women always have such high standards? Well, today I'm here to tell you a truth that no one seems to talk about. Right now, the entire internet is busy criticizing older single women, saying we're too picky. But a mature woman who lives independently and supports herself is no different from a man who built his life from the ground up. Both of these people, independent women and self-made men, refuse to settle when it comes to choosing a partner. There are many outstanding men out there. They have money, they're not addicted to porn, they don't party or go clubbing, they don't sleep around with every woman who shows interest. They're attractive, optimistic, hardworking, and responsible. Men like that? They're top tier. And if you ask them, they'll tell you their standards are high too. They want a woman who's pure, sweet, pretty, gentle, respectful, with a clean background and a decent family. And guess what? The same goes for many older, unmarried women. Back when they were younger, they didn't casually date around, they didn't drink themselves silly in nightclubs, they turned down temptations. They worked, saved money, exercised, read books, and focused on personal growth. Do you really think a woman like that will just settle for anyone just because she's getting older? While other women were wasting their youth in messy relationships, she was saving. While others were out eating and drinking with random guys, she was hitting the gym. And when others jumped from one boyfriend to another to heal after breakups, she spent years quietly healing herself, without numbing her pain with someone else. She didn't waste her youth. And neither did he. These men and women have every right to have high standards. Now let me ask you this. Do you think a good-looking, self-disciplined, high-quality man who's financially independent would want to marry a woman who's had multiple relationships or slept with lots of guys? Of course not. So why shouldn't self-respecting, disciplined older women have the same standards? The truth is, these standards aren't even that high. And if we take money out of the equation, here's what we're left with. In today's world, it's incredibly rare to find men who are clean, self-disciplined, goal-oriented, and truly responsible. Those men? They're the rare ones now.
为什么男人不愿意找大龄剩女？
What kind of men no longer want to marry older single women? Today, I came across a bunch of videos with that exact title. Each one listed the so-called 5 sins, or 7 sins, of leftover women. And under those videos, there were tons of men cheering and applauding. But seriously, what's the issue? What has a woman done wrong by simply choosing not to get married? Who is she hurting? Society has always held deep-rooted prejudice against unmarried women. The comments under these videos are filled with hate and discrimination toward older single women. And what's worse, a lot of that malice comes from other women. Why is there this need to belittle women who choose not to marry? With how much society has progressed, shouldn't we be focusing more on personal value, individual growth, and freedom, rather than obsessing over a woman's age or marital status? Why are we so quick to slap labels on them and make them feel insecure or ashamed? I've said it in many videos before. Whether you're married, unmarried, or child-free by choice, like DINK couples, these are just lifestyle choices. They're not illegal, not immoral, and as long as it suits you, it's the right path. Yes, I admit, some women do end up single due to personal reasons or circumstances. But should that only fall on women? There are also plenty of men who carry emotional baggage or behavioral issues that prevent them from forming close, healthy relationships. So why are women the only ones being blamed when they remain single past a certain age? On an individual level, whether you marry or not, and when you marry, is a matter of personal freedom. Others shouldn't interfere, and frankly, don't have the right to. For too long, society has boxed us into definitions. Women should be gentle, fragile, stay home while the man works. Be the good wife and loving mother. But if you're firm, driven, or independent, you're suddenly called manly, too strong, or leftover. We've had enough of these labels. We shouldn't be imprisoned by them. Some women marry and improve their lives, and people say, see? She just relied on a man. Others work hard and make it on their own, and then they're told, working hard is nothing compared to marrying well. In other words, we can never win. But here's the truth. A woman can be strong. She can be gentle. She can be charming. She can be carefree and bold. Most importantly, she can be free. Today's women can lead boldly in the workplace and still be attentive to the smallest details. They can be soft and nurturing at home, yet still carry the entire household on their shoulders. Both men and women have their own strengths and value. A woman's worth should be defined by herself, not by outdated stereotypes. And for those still looking at us through biased lenses, I'm not asking you to understand or even to respect us. But at the very least, don't discriminate. Lastly, a message to all the women out there. No matter how old you are, when choosing someone to marry, stay far away from men who are emotionally bankrupt. And if you agree with me, give this a like before you go.
Friends, last year China had 6.1 million marriages, the lowest number in 45 years. In villages and rural areas, single men can't find wives, and in big cities, high-quality women can't get married either. All of this is the side effect of years drinking emotional poison disguised as empowerment. According to the Ministry of Civil Affairs, the number of marriages drops sharply. Even Russia, with its 88% divorce rate, looks better in comparison. But this is the reality. In small towns, men line up hoping to find a wife, while in cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, leftover women pile up like mountains. This generation of young women has been completely misled by toxic messages wrapped in pretty words. First dose of poison: no money, no romance, no stability, so why should I be with you? Some so-called relationship gurus encourage women to put a price on everything. The result? Public servants and programmers are rejecting each other left and right. If a shy nerd in a checkered shirt had to meet those standards, 99% of men in China would stay single. Think about it. Second dose. Marriage is not a place to argue, only to love. How many couples turned into enemies because of this idea? Data shows that marriages based only on love have a 43% chance of ending in divorce. If that's the logic, marriage offices should start selling popcorn because it's all just emotional drama. Third dose. The princess syndrome. Final stage. After marriage, I must be treated like royalty. This belief caused 61% of fairy girls to get divorced within 3 years. Marriage is like starting a business together, not hiring a maid or a nanny. Men were also treated like princes before marriage. Why should they become wish-granting machines afterward? Fourth dose. The victim narrative. Only women sacrifice in marriage. Anyone who says that has never seen a man work overnight, drink with clients, fake smiles just to keep his job. Studies show that women who constantly play the victim are 38% more likely to develop postpartum depression. Marriage is not a suffering contest. Fifth dose. Giving birth should not be free. This idea turns women into products with price tags. But the civil law already says it clearly. Men and women are equal in marriage. If everything needs to be calculated, should men start charging rent too? And the final blow, modern love wrapped in PUA logic. Companies created 214 fake Valentine's Days, and relationship influencers now teach women to check bank statements to test if a man truly loves them. The result? In just 1 year, lawsuits over personal loans between couples went up 75%. That's not love. That's emotional loan sharking. So, what's your opinion about this whole dilemma? Leave your thoughts in the comments and share this with everyone. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.